Most of us have been in an argument where we stopped listening and started waiting for the other person to finish so we could say our thing. That happens to good people, smart people who genuinely care about getting it right. The problem isn't caring about your beliefs. The problem is when you start treating them like walls instead of windows. Holding strong beliefs loosely means you're committed enough to act on what you think is true, but honest enough to change your mind when the evidence demands it. That's not weakness. That's one of the harder disciplines a person can practice. It takes confidence and humility at the same time. Most of us are better at one than the other. Here's why we struggle. Our brains are wired to protect our existing views. Psychologists call it confirmation bias, the pull toward information that confirms what we already believe and away from what challenges it. It's not a character flaw, it's how the mind conserves energy, but it can make us rigid, blind, and harder to be around. There's also an identity problem. Over time, our beliefs become part of how we see ourselves. When someone pushes back on a view we hold, it can feel like they're pushing back on us. That's when conversations turn into contests. Once you're trying to win instead of trying to understand, you've already lost something more important than the argument. None of this means you should be soft about what you believe. Some things are worth standing firm on. Honesty, character, loyalty to the people counting on you. Those aren't negotiable. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the discipline of examining every impression before accepting it. Not to become indecisive, but to think clearly. The goal isn't to believe nothing strongly. It's to believe things for the right reasons and stay open to being wrong. A man who never changes his mind isn't principled. He's stuck. A man who changes his mind with every wind isn't open-minded. He's adrift. The target is somewhere between those two. Rigid thinking has real costs in everyday life. The father who's convinced he already knows what his teenager is going through misses the actual conversation. The colleague who's certain his approach is the only good one stops learning anything from the people around him. Stephen Covey put it plainly, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Most of us spend our listening time preparing our reply. That's a habit worth breaking. Here's something to try today. Find one belief you hold strongly and spend 10 minutes genuinely arguing the other side. Not to change your mind automatically, just to understand what someone who disagrees actually thinks. You might find your view gets stronger. You might find a crack in it. Either way, you'll know what you believe and why. That's a solid place to stand.